What's going on, guys? Welcome to the first episode of my NHL 23 Vancouver Canucks franchise mode series. I had a poll on both YouTube and Twitter for you guys. On YouTube, you guys can see Edmonton's actually now leading the poll. At the time I decided to go with Vancouver, had the thumbnail made. The poll on YouTube was tied, and Vancouver had won it big time on Twitter, so I thought choosing them made sense. And now, as I'm recording the video, Edmonton has a slight lead. Of course, that's how it happened. So, we're going to do Vancouver this time, guys, and I promise with Edmonton Oilers fans, the next franchise series will be on Edmonton. Now, as always, guys, if you enjoy these videos, if you wouldn't mind leaving a thumbs up, also subscribe if you haven't. So, take a look here, guys, at the Vancouver Canucks team in game. Obviously, real life, they're not doing the greatest. They have started to do a little bit better, though, than that disastrous start to the season. Top players there, you got JT Miller, Quinn Hughes, Elias Peterson / Better Shelley. In the comments which way you guys prefer me to say his name. It doesn't really matter to me. Also, too, of course, we have a solid goalie in Demko. So right now, the Canucks, they're 88 overall, tying them with Edmonton, LA, and Vegas. So they're actually the second highest rated team in the Pacific behind Calgary. And having said that, I do think we could use at least a retool this season, especially with Bedard up for grabs. Obviously, we might not get him, but he's a Vancouver native, so it would be pretty cool. Horvat, of course, too, on an expiring deal. Now, everything here, guys, will be turned off except for salary cap and computer trades. And in regards to settings here, guys, we're using the most realistic ones as usual. Game style there is 4:4 full sim. Periods low off just because they are so annoying. Authentic cap penalties are on. Same with authentic draft pick ownership. And trade difficulty here is set to hard because otherwise I think it's a little bit too easy. Also, too, guys, let me know. I had an idea for this series. I'll do it for the first episode. If you guys don't like it, we'll revert back to normal. But I was thinking to make it even tougher, I can only trade for players that are actually on the computer's trade block. So obviously, a limit to we can trade for, but you gotta be a little more creative, I think, when you're making trades. Again, just an idea. Throwing it out there. Simmerton scoring set to medium with the shot frequency on high. For the Saskatchewan series, I thought it actually went really well in terms of realistic scoring, so we'll keep it there. Draft class quality and prospect quality on low. I kind of like both those being low. Again, for this series, I'm using one of Vasi's custom roster. It's custom roster 5, so there's a ton of, real life prospects added. I think with all of those, if you also have the draft class quality, prospect quality on medium, there's a bit too many good prospects in the game. I should point out too, guys, my custom roster should be ready by like Christmas at the latest, the New Year's. So my next franchise series will be using my own roster, but yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it on low there. And even if there's not enough prospects, I kind of like the challenge of it being even tougher to find good players in the draft. And lastly here, guys, one thing I want to try for this franchise series, and I've seen a lot of people say to get more realistic sims, turn the attribute effects up to 9 out of 10. This of course will have Arizona Coyotes, for instance, basically having no chance of the Stanley Cup the first year. Your stacked teams should have, deeper runs in the playoffs. Basically, this is supposed to make it more realistic, so I'm all for the realism. If you guys are curious how to do that, it's the first tab in gameplay sliders. You guys can see it right at the top there. So I think all the settings are good now. We'll get into the franchise, and we'll see when we win the Vancouver Canucks their first ever Stanley Cup. All right, guys, we're in the franchise now. I'm trying to trade Tucker Poolman here along with Burrows, the Winnipeg Jets for a 4th round pick. Honestly, I was originally just trying to make this trade because there are a couple extra AHL defensemen we don't need. Then I realized Poolman's making $2.5 million the next 3 years as an AHL D-man. I mean, 78 overall, real life, he's like a bomb-carrying guy, but that's just way too much money. Luckily, Burrows here has a couple X factors, increases his value a tiny bit. So I'm hoping worst case scenario, we can just give away Poolman for free, but first we're going to try and get a 4th here from the Jets who want him. Trades rejected. Saving money to re-sign their guys. Okay, so yeah, I think we're probably going to have to give him away for free. Even then, they might say no. Honestly, I'll pay a pick to shed that salary. A 6th there to drop down to a 7th. Yeah, still rejected. Now, Arizona's a team with a lot of salary cap space, so maybe Arizona would be more willing to do this deal. They don't have any 7th. We have to bring a player back. This guy here doesn't look too good. 30 years old, only a 68. We actually have to take back 2 guys. We'll also add Imama there. If you guys don't know, he's a pretty good enforcer. Hopefully this goes through. And it does. Okay, so shed some salary cap space. Coyotes honestly probably need it. Just hit the salary cap floor. Now, I'll show you guys what the team looks like here to start the franchise. Again, the Canucks aren't that bad of a team on paper. Like, in the first line here, you got JT Miller, Peterson, and Besser. That's not bad at all, especially getting a +5. Second line there, even, you got Garland, Horvat, Kuzmenko, the +3. Mikheyev there on the third line, Sanika and Podkolzin, and a +2. And then fourth line, even, we got Hoglander, Lazar, Pearson. I'd love to get Hoglander kind of, higher up in the lineup, but everyone in front of him makes more sense. Apart from maybe Sanika, but Hoglander can't play center. I don't think. Yep, Podkolzin 64 faceoffs. Mikheyev 60. I feel like we'll probably make a trade at the deadline, if not before then, which should see Hoglander getting more ice time. Defensively here, we got Ekman Larson on the top pair with Quinn Hughes. Ethan Bear, of course, Canucks just got this year, paired up with Dermott. Then we got Myers and Shen on the bottom pair, which is a pretty good, physical D pair. In terms of the goaltending, as I mentioned, Demko there, our starter. So we should have our goalie for, the whole thing, really, unless he just plays terribly for some reason. Spencer Martin backing him up. We could have a better backup. He's not terrible either. In the AHL, we got Delia and Silovs. I'm not sure if that's how you say his name, but definitely could have better, young goalies, I guess, coming up. AHL forwards also aren't the best. Klimovich here does have Miam Tossic's potential. Other than that, really not too many good forward prospects. We do have Lekkerimäki, but I think he's still in Sweden. In terms of the AHL defense, we got Riley Stillman on the top pair there with Jack Rathbone, who's actually a pretty solid player. 23 there, 79, medium top 4 potential. We got Wu on the second pair with Kulinik. Wu there also medium top 4. And then Juleson, Johansson also medium top 4. So the entire right side there is, medium top 4 potential. We'll see if those guys can turn out or not. But honestly, guys, I'm not really sure how this team's going to do. They could be really good. They also could be really bad. I think we got to kind of, wait at least till like Christmas break or so, see what kind of team we're going to be. No change to the captaincy. Horvat's still wearing the C. If you guys are curious too about the coach, I've definitely seen better head coaches for like your starting one. As you can see, Ronnie Nash here, he's a B. Kind of sucks. Teaching coach influence, the two most important stats are both C's, but if you are trying to be bad, that could be a benefit. I definitely like to have my coach for the whole series in place by the end of the first season at the latest. So if we do really, really bad with him, I'll probably get a new head coach. But if we actually do decent, I might keep him. And in terms of the scouting with Fog of War turned off, no reason to have pro scouts. You guys can see there, all amateur scouts, all in like the most important regions, all A+. Hopefully those guys can find some late round steals for us in the draft. And in terms of the preseason here, guys, Miller almost 2 points per game right now through 6. We're 4-1-1. We'll take a look here at the ratings to start this. It's always kind of funny when you look back. And of course, usually end up making like a 100 team. So we start out here at 91, 89, 85. Again, the Canucks really aren't that terrible on paper. So let's see what happens with them. I don't want to make, any bold moves here right at the gate. All right, guys, so at the Christmas break here, the team definitely isn't making my decision too easy whether or not to rebuild or go for it. 17, 14, and 4, so they're kind of just above 500. And we are currently out of a playoff spot by 2 points, although we do have a couple games in hand on the Stars. So, yeah, I'm not really sure what we should do with this team. Bo Horvat having a really good year. He's got a point per game right now. In terms of the AHL, Jacek there, almost a point per game. They're third place, so they're also in the playoffs. I realized too, guys, I forgot to show you kind of all the assets we have to work with here to start this out. Obviously, we made that one trade, but I can see Peterson there is the top asset, which makes a lot of sense, followed by Quinn Hughes. They're basically equal. Miller's pretty high, Horvat, Lekkerimäki, Besser, but Coulson. The guys you'd expect, honestly. In terms of Demko's value, because he's a goalie, it's a little lower than otherwise would be. Draft picks there. We do have our first round pick, which is good. If this team didn't have our first, we'd be in tough for sure. So, I don't know. I guess we still be patient until the deadline. I feel like you usually can get more steals at the deadline. Now, looking at Bo Horvat there, I am curious to see what would it cost to re-sign him, because we always do like a sign-in trade as well. I want $6 million, which for an 86 is currently on a point per game pace. That's like really, really reasonable. Because Manko here, we cannot re-sign yet because he signed that 1 year. Now look at this. Holgner, only an 81, wants 3.3. He's playing fourth line, so this is a case where you definitely just wait because there's no way his production is going to justify that much of an asking price. Now in regards to Horvat, guys, I think I'm going to wait till after the deadline to re-sign him, because if we do choose to trade him, it'll be easier without an extension, as that way you only have to worry about fitting him into team's caps this year, not, the years after. Also, guys, I really forgot to show you the special teams. As you can see here, Power Play 1, absolutely stacked, getting a +5. Power Play 2 there isn't too bad either. Foreman Power Play 1 also looks pretty stacked. Foreman Power Play 2 is decent. In terms of the PK, there are some pretty good penalty killers on this team for sure. One thing I actually really want to point out, guys, PK3 you can see 0 there, no minuses. Same goes for 3-man PK3. A lot of the time I would get a -3 there no matter what I did. I guess it was a bug. I had no idea. I thought it was just, being unlucky with the kind of players I was using. But as you can see, right now we're getting a 0 without any X factors. The only way I could not get a -3 before was with like some crazy X factors there. So good to know that was fixed, because obviously it was pretty unfair. Alright guys, we're at the trade deadline here with a record of 33, 24, and 4. We're actually in a playoff spot right now, 70 points, just holding on there to the last wildcard spot in the West. I think the next closest team to us is the Blues with 64 points, so we're actually like pretty well in a playoff spot. AHL-wise, 31, 21, and 3, second place in their division. We'll see here, AHL scoring leader is still Jacek there, 44 points there in 55 games. In terms of NHL, it's Bo Horvat, over a point per game. So we still have to ask ourselves, do we trade the captain? I'm leaning towards trading, just because it seems like that's what's going to happen in real life. They haven't signed him an extension yet. Apparently, he just rejected the last one, and they said that was the best one they're going to make. But obviously, you never know what's going to happen until it does. So I feel like we're a conservative buyer here entering the trade deadline. Patrick Kane's available. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. Chicago, of course, is not going to be in the playoffs. Ryan O'Reilly, Tyler Bertuzzi, good chance Eisman trades him. John Klingberg, David Perron, Varlamov, Kopp, Reimer, Taze, Janot. Okay, so honestly, a lot of these names are quite realistic for who I see being on the trade block come this February. I don't really think any of these guys would help out our team in its current state, but maybe there's like a really good young player available that we can make a trade for Horvat. Alright guys, so let's get around to all the different teams. There weren't any great prospects available. I was hoping for at least, one medium elite to trade Horvat for. And since there weren't any available, I think it makes more sense to hold on to him for now. We can re-sign him after the deadline. Hopefully it's still relatively cheap, and then trade him at the draft, as he hopefully will go up in rating, having a really good season. Again, over point per game. But I am trying to save a bit of cap space for the future, as well as give Hollander some more ice time. So right now I'm offering Mikheyev here to the Hurricanes for Gunler. They like Mikheyev, who isn't a bad player, 83 overall, 2A forward, just almost $5 million for him is a lot, especially for 4 years. Noel Gunler, though, pure sniper. I feel like, could be a very good player for us in the future. Powerful shot there, decent offensive awareness and skating. Actually, pretty good physical as well. So I will see whether or not this trade will go through just as is. Trades rejected. Okay, I did look like they had slightly more value on their side. I feel like we'd honestly just throw in like a late pick, though, and make this happen. Try like the Coyotes 6th here first, which is basically a 5th. And they do say yes. Okay, so again, I think that's a smart move for us. And again, I looked through everybody. I think the team with the best prospect available was Nashville, who had Kamel on the block. He was high top 6. But if you guys remember, I just had Kamel in my Saskatoon series, so didn't really want to do that again. And like I said, I was hoping to get a medium elite guy, and maybe we can at the draft, even if it's honestly just trading Horvat for like, top 10 pick. And the trade deadline's not over, guys. We'll see if any blockbusters went down. I didn't see any on the ticker, but you never know. Tyler Bertuzzi to LA Kings. Jeez, what did we get back? 2 seconds. Yamson. I feel like the Red Wings should get more than that in real life. I think they got 2 seconds for Athens CU. Bertuzzi better fetch at least a first-round pick. Maverick York there goes to the San Jose Sharks for Victor Rask, who I believe was available in free agency, so really not the best move there by the Stars. Of course, our trade there at the Hurricanes. Matt Benning to the Avalanche. Olsen there to the Panthers. Kopp goes to the Ducks. Heisman's just selling. Ninevera there to the Jets. Pierre Joseph to the Coyotes for Bukestad. Let's see. Shattenkirk to the Jets. Chaz Lucius to the Ducks in return. Not bad. Sherratt to the Penguins. We get a second for him. Cheka there to the Flyers. Ninevera to the Wild. Brendan Brisson to the Blackhawks for Athens CU. Just mentioned him. That's a pretty big trade. David Perron to the Predators. Eisman's literally trading everybody he just signed, which is pretty funny. Max Domi there to the Rangers for Jacob Trouba. Wow, that's an interesting trade. Max Domi, Jack Johnson for Jacob Trouba. So basically, I don't know. The Rangers get back less value to shed his cap space. A very interesting one there. Susie to the Flames. Robertson to the Kraken. Wenberg to the Coyotes. Goligoski to the Oilers. For Raphael Lavoie as well. Okay, so pretty active trade deadline, but yeah, I wouldn't say there was any blockbuster deal. And like I was saying, guys, because we did not trade Horvat at the deadline, I want to make sure we re-sign him now so he has more value at the draft when I do plan on trading him, just because I think that's what everyone wanted. And he's going to cost us $3 million more. So, I mean, that's what I get, I guess. Again, I thought we might trade with the deadline. I didn't see, no teams having good prospects available. It does tell me, though, if he's asking for that, he should be going up in rating. Let's try like 8.75 for 5 years. Hopefully he says yes. And now after the trade deadline, guys, here's an updated look at the lines. Obviously, no change there. The top 6. And the third line here is now Hollander, Sonika, Podkolzin. I think both these guys are actually up in rating. Sonika now 79, Podkolzin 82. I tried Googling how you say Sonika's name. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. And I saw he's actually from Tecumseh, which is essentially Windsor. So my hometown, I thought that was pretty cool. Fourth line here now, Pearson, Lazar, DiGiuseppe. DiGiuseppe here, of course, replacing Mikheyev. No change to the defense or the goaltending. In terms of the AHL, obviously we got Noel Gunler there on the team. Now he's playing first line left wing with Jasek, who's our leading scorer. He's a playmaker. Gunler, of course, the sniper. I'm hoping he can play well there and maybe go up in rating, make the NHL team in, say, 2 or 3 years. And look at this, guys. Will Horvat actually said yes to the contract offer. I thought it was going to be too low, but that's a pretty decent deal, especially if you can keep it up and grow in rating. And sadly, this season here, guys, finished the record of 43, 32, and 7. Luckily, held on to our playoff spot. We really sucked if we missed. We're actually the first wildcard spot there. The Sharks got the second. You can see the Flames there winning the Pacific with 112 points. Avalanche, though, in the West, 114. In the East there, the Hurricanes are the best there with 106 points. So, obviously, once you're in the playoffs, anything can happen. Still a lot of question marks, though, for this team. JT Miller finished the leading scorer, 70 and 82. Almost a point per game. We'll take that. Jack Rathbone on the AHL team. Okay. 55 points there in 70 games. In terms of the AHL success. They dropped in the standings there, but still got in 4th spot there in their division. So I'll take a look here and see how everyone did. I guess we're going to look at the AHL team first because that's where I am. So Jasek at 52. Joshua 39. Same with Johansson. Where's Gunler? 30 and 68. Let's see how he did on our team. 5 and 15 playing first line. Man, I really expected more than that from him, but it is what it is, I guess. So NHL team. Horvat there, 44 goals. He was actually a bit more of a goal scorer in this, just like real life. 75 points, Back and Miller. Not bad at all, plus 13 rating. Peterson there, 74. Hughes, 66 for D-Man. He's usually an absolute beast in this sim, so I can't wait for him to hopefully be leading like the entire league in defensive scoring, winning some Norris trophies for us. Besser there, Kuzmenko, both 60 points. Kuzmenko's got to jump from 83, putting up a 60-point season. Garland there, 53. Nick at 36. Bear, 29. Hollander, 28. I feel like hopefully, he started scoring more once we promote him in the Lions. And take a look at Demko's stats here. 0.907, 2.98. They're not amazing, but, you know, like, they're not bad either. I feel like they're decent enough. Not going to worry about it too much yet. Draisaitl, the Ross Trophy, 115 points. McDavid had 109. Ovi with 66 goals. Also had 108 points. Ridiculous. Eichel, DeBrincat, Kane, Robertson, Kaprizov, Kuznetsov. Outside of Kuznetsov and I guess Kane, like, pretty realistic, finishers there. And yeah, Ovi doing the Maurice Richard, 66 goals. Kane had 57. Okay. Defensive scoring, Carlson, 89. Oh my god. That is ridiculous. Seth Jones, 89, is also pretty crazy. Honestly, that's pretty crazy from both those guys. After that, you got Shabbat, Makar, D'Angelo, Fox, Ekblad. You can see Hughes there is on the first page. Goaltending stats, Markstrom most wins, not even close, 49. Next closest, 37. Wow, so probably win the Vezina Trophy, you'd have to assume. Best save percentage, though, for a starter is Sorokin there with the 919. And then the best goals against for a starter is also Sorokin with a 261. I don't think we had any rookie skaters, unless I'm completely forgetting about somebody. McTavish there, 56 points, plus 7. Honestly, though, might go to Ken Johnson. 2 less points there, the plus 17. Quinn, Beniers, minus 31. Yeah, for whatever reason, the Sim does not like the Kraken because they do not do nearly as good as they're doing right now in real life. And look at the entire league here, guys. As you can see, the Avalanche win the President's Trophy, followed closely there by the Flames. I guess it makes sense. Like, they have Georgiev and Frank who's splitting games, so that's why Markstrom just had so many more wins. Where did we finish? 13th in the entire league. Pittsburgh 14 and missed. That sucks. Let's see. Last in the NHL. Who's it going to be? And it's the Arizona Coyotes. Okay, 57 points. I mean, that's pretty realistic. Senators, though, finished first in goals for. I would not have expected that. And then first in goals against, there's the Tampa Bay Lightning. Islanders were second and then missed the playoffs. That is surprising. And we actually had the 4th best goals against, so, I mean, that is a good sign. Like, I know Demko's a good goalie. I didn't really think the defense in front of him, though, was that great. Honestly, I was, looking at potentially making a trade. I think it was, like, Mikhail for Fabro at the deadline. But the Predators couldn't afford his salary cap hit. There was just, like, no way I was retaining on salary or taking back another bad contract. So I decided just to kind of go for it. We got the Flames here in the first round. Okay, so, I mean, Canucks Flames usually have pretty good playoff series. We'll see here if they made any big moves. They got Huberdeau, Lindholm, and Japani as the first line, with Toffoli, Kadri, back on the second. Third line there, you got Lucic, Coleman, Dubé. Fourth is Lewis, Rizika, Pelche. Defensively, Uyghur, Tanev, Anderson, Hanifin, Shillington, Zadorov. So yeah, Markstrom starting. And Vladar there was backing him up. So no changes for the Flames. I do think they have a better roster. They had 10 more regular season wins, but you never know what can happen. Now, we do have the attribute effect at 9 out of 10, which is supposed to make more realistic sims, which means the Flames should beat us here. Let's see what happens, though. First 2 games in Calgary. And we lose both. We do get an OT win, though, game 2. So we can come back to Vancouver and win at least one game. We have a chance. Come on. 3-0 win. 4-3 win. Okay. We are right back in this series, all tied up. Head to Calgary game 5. They beat us again at home. Game 6 now at home. And there you have it. Unfortunately, Canucks beat us in round 1. Honestly, though, I did not expect to win the Stanley Cup this year. So the fact that we even made the playoffs, I think, is something to be proud of. And take a look at this, guys. Decided to check on the AHL team. And who else would they be playing with the Calgary Wranglers? Tied up 2-2. Are you kidding me? So the exact same series. They were tied 2-2, and then they lost in 6. So pretty funny NHL, AHL team had pretty much identical playoffs. And now this has to be one of the most impressive Stanley Cup wins ever, guys. The Minnesota Wild win the Cup with like almost $13 million in dead cap due to the Parise and Suter buyouts. That's crazy. And the Hartford Wolfpack there, that's the Rangers AHL team, win the Calder Cup. So, I mean, very impressive. Good job by Bill Guerin there. The Kraken jumped from 3-1 to pick first overall. So Connor Bedard joins Shane Wright and Matty Beniers. That is crazy. Arizona that 2. They're probably going to take Michkov, maybe Fantilli. The Rangers there have the 9th pick via Dallas. Very, very interesting. And right here you can see Bo Horvat was our playoff scoring leader. 8 points in 6 games, which is pretty solid. But like I said, everyone seemed to want me to trade him. So I am still going to do that. Look at the playoff tree here. The Wild beat the Jets in 6. Avs in 6. Flames in 6, and then they actually went 7 there with the Hurricanes. So again, I can't believe that. Like, honestly, good job by them. Very, very impressive. We already know those team awards. Individual here, Draisaitl, of course, with the Art Ross. Also takes home the Hart Trophy. Carlson, James Norris, DeBrincat, Lady Bing. Ken Johnson did get the Calder. Kaprizov, Conn Smythe, you kind of figure that one. Sorokin got the Vezina over Markstrom. Wow, even though he had way less wins. Vasilevsky, though, William Jennings. Dumoulin, Bill Masterton. Montreal coach, Jack Adams. I thought maybe we could have gotten it. Kopitar, Selke, Draisaitl, Ted Lindsay. And then Ovi, of course, with the Maurice Richard. And now look at the AHL awards here. As I mentioned, Wolfpack win the Calder Cup. We were 4th in our division, so we don't get a team award. Individually here, Sakura, most points. Also get MVP. Letary there, most goals. Okay. Brad Lambert, best rookie. I feel like he should end up being pretty good for the Jets. Merkley there, best defenseman. Berdin there, best goaltender on the Moose as well. Walensky there, MVP of the playoffs for the Wolfpack. Cervenka was sportsmanship. That guy looks so old. I kind of see how old that guy is. Farron screening involvement, and then Hellberg there on the Grand Rapids Griffins. Lowest goals against with Sebastian Kosa. And next, you're going to take a look at retired players. I don't think we should have any, and there's just somebody obvious I'm missing. Joe Thornton finally hangs him up. Filipino there as well. Dubinsky, Soderberg. I mean, I don't think any of these guys were even playing, obviously. They all show as free agents. Goalies, Ben Bishop was already LTIR retired anyways. So we're getting to the draft now. I do want to take a look at our coach, though, and see if he got any better this year. Because we did make the playoffs. Okay, he's on an A- overall. Let's see. Okay, the only thing is teaching and coach influence. The two most important ones are still C's, but I see that they're actually close to being upgraded. So I feel like we can probably hold on to him because, like I said, I like to hold on to the same head coach the entire time just so you have that recap at the end. You shouldn't have to do that. You should get a recap without your head coach, but unfortunately that's out of our control. So heading to the draft now, guys, take a look at the draft class. Hopefully there's some steals here. Obviously, yeah, Connor Bedard going 1. High franchise potential. He's going to be a beast. Michkov there going 2, so he's going to the desert. You got Fantilli, you got Leo Carlson, Jaeger, Dvorsky. Already got a couple gems there at the top. Do we have any others? Let's see. Frazee here, low top 6. Miller looking like a low top 6D. Herbal, though, high starter goalie guaranteed. End of the second round. That's actually really good. And now check this out, guys. Alec Amonte here, who I believe is a created player, is going to go 14. Guaranteed medium elite. That'll be around where our first round pick is. So we might only have to move up a few spots to get him. Also, too, Polacek here, guaranteed medium elite goalie, American. He'll be going like somewhere in the third round, I think, so that'll definitely help out because as I mentioned, behind Demko, we have like no good goalie prospects. For whatever reason, the Canucks decided to trade Michael DiPietro, who of course I was a big fan of from my hometown, playing for the Spits. Looking through here for some other steals. Okay, Will Smith. Oh no, he's ranked 10. I was going to say, I know he's got medium elite because I had to go and upgrade it. He's supposed to go top 10 this year's draft, but he was, supposed to go about 10 there. And look at this, guys. Connor Bedard just went 1 to the Kraken, so no surprises there. Now at 14, the Leafs are picking. Their pick isn't on the block, but the Devils' pick at 13 is. So we're going to try and move up here. I believe our pick is number 19. I feel like in the mid-first, the cost move up shouldn't be terrible. I would probably be willing to give up the second, but I don't know if it would cost that. Well, could we do this just for like just a third-round pick next year? Trades rejected. Okay, so maybe we have to pay the second. Honestly, though, I don't think at 19 there'll be any medium elite players still available, so I feel like it is worth giving up the second. We gotta make sure, too, that we get that guaranteed medium elite goalie. Now, the Devils are interested in Tanner Pearson. 80 overall, making 3.2 for the next 2 years. I wouldn't mind dropping him on them. Maybe we can do like Pearson, a 4th this year and a 3rd next year, rather than giving up the second. And there we go. Okay, so we're picking 13. We'll be able to get that guy I was talking about. We'll just sim to our pick now. Cam Allen just went. High top 4 there is 74. Smith at 11, 71 medium elite. Richie high top 6. Sale there. Benson, Dvorsky, Jaeger, Carlson, Artukin, Fantilli, Michkov. Okay, so the top 3 is probably how it'll go. I think Fantilli might go 2 just because Michkov's got like the rushing concerns. And this Artukin guy the Flyers took's made up, so really Carlson should be going 4, then like Jaeger 5, Dvorsky 6, etc. But our guy's still there. Barlow as well. I think he's probably high top 6. I honestly don't know. It's not worth the risk though. Namonte's here, guaranteed medium elite. Let's take him. And 80 overall medium elite of the draft. Are you kidding me? What a steal. Schneid make it snappy, all alone, close quarters, magnetic. The shot there's all 90s. Wow. We just got the 2nd best player in the draft. I mean, I guess probably the 4th best player because Bedard's obviously the best. Michkov, Fantilli only overall below, and they're high elites. We got the 4th best player in the draft at pick 14. That is outstanding. And our next year, guys, trying to make a trade to the Philadelphia Flyers, offering them our 3rd round pick and Lazar for their 3rd round pick. Trying to move up 9 spots, just make sure we get that guaranteed medium elite. Lazar here's a 78, making $1 million the next 3 years. A long-term deal there for a guy per year place. And the Flyers are actually interested in him, so we should be able to do this. Cash, they're just coming back as a roster spot. There we go, trades accepted. So I actually think of our next 2 picks, we're taking goalies. Barlow there was taken by the Leafs, 71 overall, high top 6. So yeah, we definitely made the right pick with our guy. I still can't believe how lucky we got. So simming here to pick 51 in the 2nd round. You can see some high top 9s getting selected. As I mentioned, we're going to go back-to-back goalies here. So Herbal, high starter. I'm not sure what his rating's going to be. 67 high starter is not bad at all. And then 74 should really get the medium elite goalie here. If we don't, I'm going to be so mad. No, yeah, he is still there. So Polacek, come on, be decent rated. 47 overall, so he's a project goalie, but still, medium elite potential there, can't complain. And our next pick here, guys, is in the 4th round. I'm thinking we'll just take Dustin Miller a little bit early on him. I'm really curious what he is as a gem. 57 low elite. Okay, so yeah, even though we reached on him a little bit, that's a solid pick in the 4th round. I think we only have our 5th round pick left, so we'll try and get something of value. Guaranteed low top 9 is really not even worth it. Now, Carson Bjarnason here, I'm pretty sure is like medium fringe or something. I remember like seeing his potential when I was doing the ratings. Now, I could have gotten switched because, again, it's not my roster. Now, we also could take this guy's probably low top 6. I feel like we just took 2 goalies. Let's take Nygren here. And 49 low top 6. So yeah, he's another project, but not a bad pick at all in the 5th round. So we're at the re-sign phase, guys, and I just realized I totally forgot to trade Horvat at the draft. I was so focused on like actually drafting players, I forgot I was supposed to trade Bo Horvat. So I guess that'll be something we'll do during the summer. I'm sure some of you don't want me to trade him, some of you do. Again, because I think he's going to get traded in real life. I think it'd be fun to also trade him in this series. Now, Kuzmenko needs a new deal. He's played well for us. He wants 5.7 though. Wow, he could go up to an 84 based on his production. It's a lot of money. Hogner, luckily, RFA. He wanted $3 million at the beginning of the year. He wants 2.6 now. 1 year, 1.65. I'm trying to think. Does it make sense? I mean, for 3 years, might as well do like an extra, 400K. So he'll take 2.5 for 3. I think that's actually a really good deal. Ekman Larson making 7.2 as an 82. That's going to hurt us. Now, how much longer is that contract for? It's for 4 years. Okay, so it's a big deal. Let's see. How much does it cost to buy out? $2.4 million. $2.4 million for 8 years is honestly not that terrible. We're saving $5 million the first 4 years. Wow. Now I'm going to think on that one, but that might be worth it. And now we have some other defensemen that need re-signed. Ethan Bear here, 25.82. 5.7. 1 year was $4 million. I'm just going to qualify him. Maybe we'll do the 1 year. Luke Shen I'd like to keep just because, he's like a physical guy. I'll probably do a 1 year. I'm not really sure what the state of the defense is going to be. 2.5 million. It's not terrible. Dermott wants 2 years too. Again, yeah, it's not like the worst thing ever. We'll try just under 2 there for 2. Now, this Monte guy who we just drafted, obviously, needs a contract. He's going to be an absolute beast. I want him in the top 6. And in terms of the goaltenders here, guys, Demko and Martin there still in their contracts. I feel like Martin's better suited as the AHL starter, though. I'd like to get a better NHL backup. Delia will let go. Silov's there could be like the AHL backup this year. Fringe starter there, Thiessen, 23.71, honestly just isn't worth a contract. The low backup, Young's probably never going to get signed. So, yeah, we'll need an NHL backup. Defensively here, I feel like we could definitely use an improvement because after Hughes, everyone's 82 or lower. Now, Rathbone's now an 81, which is definitely big. So we bring him in. And yeah, like I'm looking at the team. Ekman Larson, we really don't need. Oh, man, it's just so much money. I think I'm going to buy him out. I think, kind of like we were talking about Minnesota. Sometimes you got to rip the Band-Aid off. You got to make the hard decisions. Buy out Ekman Larson. Let's do it. So, ballot penalties now $2.4 million for the next 8 years. So that's almost the entire franchise. But the next 4 years, obviously, we have that extra cap space. Are we rebuilding? I don't know if I'd call it that. I think definitely it's more of a retool. The Canucks have always, needed a true rebuild. But we have Hughes and Peterson, who are both so young. I feel like we can definitely build around these guys, even if we have to suck for a couple of years. Now, Kuzmenko here, I might regret this one. I'd like to give him a contract because he did play very, very well this year. Let's do a 3-year 5.5. We have the money for that now, too. So we'll see what him and everybody else says. Luke Shen rejects, wants to test for agency. Dermott, though, accepted. Hollander rejected. Kuzmenko did accept. Okay, same with Amante. Luke Shen wants a lot of money, but as you can see, he's got very good physical stats. I feel like the game likes him as a bottom pairing D-man. We'll do 1 year. What he's asking for. Maybe he'll say yes. And honestly, Ethan Barry's got 1 year left to grow. If we can get like a second-round pick out of an offer sheet from somebody else, I think that makes more sense to sign him, especially because Rathbone is now an 81. Hoglander, I feel like we had to be close. Let's try. Honestly, I'll just give the $3 million he's asking for 3 years. And there we go. Luke Shen said yes. Same with Hoglander. All right, so we still have about $9.5 million in cap space. Also, too, guys, next year I want to sign Lekkerimäki. I haven't played in the AHL this year. He only put up 12 points last year in Sweden. Didn't grow at all either. So I feel like top 6 minutes in the AHL should help him out more. And now, guys, with the free agency period, curious to see who's available here. Obviously, we definitely need some defense. Forward group's pretty solid. David Pastrnak. Wow, the Bruins don't get him signed. Up to a 94 overall. He wants $12.3 million. That is insane. O'Reilly, Strome, Tarasenko, Bergeron as well. The Bruins losing, 2 of their best forwards there. Pavelski, Domi. John Klingberg is like the only defenseman I'm seeing. I guess Gavrikov too. Gavrikov more a defensive guy. You can see there he's actually got shutdown zone ability. Matt Dumba's also not too bad. He's 28, but on the younger side, Orlov. Michael Bunting there wants to get paid. Leafs don't keep him. David Severson. So, I mean, the free agent defensive market's not really looking amazing. There's just, some decent kind of stopgaps. So some of our younger guys grow. Ilya Samsonov here, 86 overall now, wants $8.5 million with low starter potential. That's outstanding. Anderson, Varlamov, Talbot. Take a look here at two-way goalies because, as I mentioned, we do need a backup, but always want to check and see if any of the good young ones. Not really. Like, this guy's okay, but onto the guys we just drafted. We don't need them. Now, in terms of a backup, I feel like Nolajevic's the best for us. 27. He's done growing, but he's still younger. 1.8 there. Has a couple X factors. 83 overall. That's really not that bad. It's pretty cheap too. So I'm gonna give him what he's asking for. Hopefully says yes. And then, as I mentioned, in terms of like the defensive market, you got Klingberg, Gavrikov, Dumba, I guess Dumoulin, Orlov, Severson, Shankirk's okay. After that, you're paying a lot of money for really not that much. And look at that, right there's Ekman Larsson's current actual market value, $3 million bucks. So that just shows you how much we were overpaying him. And honestly, guys, I'm thinking about it. I feel like we don't really need Klingberg, so we have Hughes, who's already a very, very good offensive defenseman. Gavrikov's only 27, so he's pretty young. He could beat on the top pair with Hughes. Defensive defenseman there. Very good defensive stats and physical. For an 85, 5.8 million is not the worst. Seattle's also interested. We'll try $6 million bucks for, I guess, 3 years. 2 years is a lot cheaper, but if anyone else does 3 years plus, 4 years is also cheaper. Why is 3 years so much money? Let's try 4 years and like 5.5 million. If someone tries like 5.5 at 2 years, I think he'll probably say a stars. I don't know, but let's give that a try. In terms of forwards, like I was saying, we don't really need anybody, so unless there's like a steal here, probably not going to make an offer. Honestly though, Jordan Staal, 83 overall, 2.4. It's a very, very good two-way center. Could have him on the PK. I feel like he might be worth bringing onto the team. I think Jordan Staal here, I do want to have just a 1 year probably, because I'm a little bit concerned he'll start to drop. Try like 2.6 there. And now check this out, guys. Looking at two-way prospects here, there's actually a few medium top 6 forwards as well as a couple medium top 4 defensemen. I'm not sure why they're available as free agents. Like, they're young. Their team should have signed them. So to be fair here, I'll sign only one of the defensemen as well as one of the forwards. That way, you know, the computer teams can get the rest. I think Johnson here is better because same rating, but you 1 year younger. And then I guess Sean Farrell here, who I believe is Montreal Canadiens prospect. Couple X factors there too. He'll probably have a lot of teams interested. 21.75. Maybe he'll go with us. Maybe he won't. But obviously, you got to give it a try. And there we go, guys. Jordan Staal accepted his offer. So he'll be a very solid bomb 6 center for us. Nolajevich as well. So we got a good backup. The Sean Farrell prospect, who I was worried someone else would get. Johnson there too. So I feel like we got the guys we wanted. Now we just got to kind of work on a Bo Horvat trade that actually makes sense. Now that sucks, guys. Unfortunately, Gavrikov rejected our offer, decided to go with Seattle Kraken. Didn't offer him enough money. We did try to like get him a little bit cheaper there. Shane Gostisbehere though, okay, with a couple sevens for 2 seconds. The thing is, he's a very offensive defenseman, just like Quinn Hughes. He's also left-handed. He's kind of just giving us like a second Hughes essentially, but I mean, he wouldn't be that bad. I want a second next year and the year after that. I'll definitely think about it. I'm going to say no for now, just in case, you know, some better opportunities come up. I just got this trade offer, guys, from the Blackhawks. That actually seems like a really good trade for us. Second round pick for a 4th, a 7th, and a low top 9 prospect. I feel like we have to say yes to that one. And next, you guys actually want to sign Alex Edler to bring him back to Vancouver. He wants 1.9 there for 2 years. I'm thinking more of a 1 year. Detroit's also interested. Hopefully they don't steal him from us, but honestly, I don't really think he's worth much more than that at 37. There's a good chance he'll actually drop in rating. I'm just kind of sign him there, bring back to Vancouver for all the fans. And next year, guys, I'm actually signing Nick Bonino to be our 4th line center. I feel like we could use an improvement there. 35 years old. I think we just do a 1 year. Make sure we don't get outbid. Let's do 1.2. That should get him. I think we might need still one more 4th line forward, but I'm going to kind of wait till the end of the month. Maybe some of the better guys drop their prices. Low top 6 in a second. Okay, basically it's a low top 6 for a 5th. I'm going to say no to that one. Alex Edler, are you kidding me? He goes with the Red Wings. Stevie Y steals him, but Nick Bonino does sign with us. That's something. And now next year, guys, I'm trying to finally trade Bo Horvat. Bit of a blockbuster here with the LA Kings. 1-for-1. Horvat for Drew Doughty on the block. They're making $11 million. I have them retaining $1 million. 89 overall defenseman. You can see there 4 X factors. I feel like him and Quinn Hughes together on the top pair could actually be really, really nasty. Doughty just focusing on the more defensive side of the puck. Quinn Hughes, of course, doing all that playmaking. We'll see what they say here. This is a big-time trade. It also helps with the team because we definitely need defense more than offense. Here we go. Trades rejected. Okay. It actually doesn't say anything there about the cap situation, though. So maybe we actually just have to add a piece and they would say yes. Because I think him at 10 million, definitely a lot better than him at 11. I really don't want to give up either of those prospect defensemen there. I mean, we could try doing like a 4th round pick for starters. Trades rejected. Woefully insufficient. I mean, it's really not, though. The value is pretty equal, I feel. Now, we did just get that Islanders 2nd round pick for almost nothing. And it's got less value than our pick. Maybe we bet on ourselves. I feel like we'll be a decent team again next year. 2nd round pick. See if that and Horvat gets us Drew Doughty. Trades rejected. They don't retain the salary. Okay, so I think it would go through if we don't retain the salary. And now that we know that, maybe we can also get back like an LA Kings 3rd round pick. It's got a lot less value. And there we go. Okay, so we drop from a 2nd to a 3rd. If we're really good and they're really bad, That's not that bad. So huge trade there, bringing in Drew Doughty. Letting go Bo Horvat. But as I said before, it seemed like that was what most of you wanted me to do. I should say too, definitely in the comment section below, guys, let me know which player I should name to be the next captain of the Vancouver Canucks. I'm thinking it'll probably be Hughes or Peterson, so, you know, leave your votes down below. And now next year, guys, I'm actually trying to make another big trade, circling back to the Coyotes. They wanted to give us Gostisbehere before. I feel like he could be a really good second pair guy, probably second power play too behind Hughes. Look at the offensive stats. They're obviously very, very solid. I'm offering up Ethan Bear, currently still unsigned. He wanted $4 million, so we're basically paying an extra $1 million here to get Gostisbehere. Also trading Travis Dermott though, so I think in the end we'd be saving about $1 million. This guy here, low 7th D, they want. I would never sign him. Same with the low backup goalie. Also, I need a 4th round pick. We can improve the pick if this doesn't go through, but the value's on our side. Let's see what the Coyotes say. Trades accepted. Wow. All right. So I think those two moves really round out our team, and we should be pretty much good for next year. I think maybe, as I mentioned, we need one more 4th line forward. Right now, our AHL is pretty much all like high 70s or below, so I wouldn't mind like another 80 overall guy. I'm looking at Derek Ryan right now, guys. 36 years old, 79 overall, good in the face-off circle, decent physical. Again, for a 4th liner, I don't think, you know, he's really that bad. 1 year is actually asked, goes down to 900K. We only have 750K left in salary cap space. That is crazy. The good news is, I actually didn't trade Myers. I was thinking about it, but I figured 1 year left. He's a pretty decent bottom pair guy, so we'll have his money next summer to help us with re-signing people, as well as obviously bringing in new free agents. Okay, I'm not giving up the second, though. I was going to say, a low top 9 for 3rd and 4th would have been pretty nice. Decided to stay on your team, don't longer have the cap space for my services. What does he mean no longer? I haven't signed anybody. What the heck? Alright, guys, so I tried signing Ryan again, and this time he decides to go with the Leafs. I have no idea what happened last time. Like, there was no one else on our team that signed a new deal or anything like that. It showed we'd sell the same amount of money. Really weird. And you know what, guys? I think this will be fun. I'm going to sign Ryan Reeves next year. He was actually on the Stanley Cup winning Minnesota Wild. You can see he's got a ton of X factors there. Physical stats, 5 stars. They're pretty much perfect. And he wants no money, so we should actually be able to afford him here. Throw him on the 4th line. Help protect our young guys, and he won a cup last year, so maybe he'll go back to back, be like the new Patty Maroon. And there we go, guys. Reeves accepted his offer. They actually have him on the AHL team right now, which is pretty funny. All right, guys, so now to start next season. And before we show you the team's lines, I want to show you our Pastrnak sign, the #1 free agent. He went with the Chicago Blackhawks. Like, are you kidding me? I guess, you know, they did have a ton of cap space. So they probably were one of the few teams that actually, you know, could afford him. But I'll show you guys what our team is looking like. I do have high hopes for this upcoming season. So I've got the rookie, Amonte, playing on the 1st line there with Peterson and Besser. Imagine he steals a Calder Trophy from Connor Bedard. That'd be insane. He's got the 90-plus shot, and he's playing with 2 really good players. I think there is a chance, along with the +5 chemistry boost. Second line there, you got Garland, Miller, Kuzmenko. Garland's actually down to an 83, I think. 3rd line here is now Hollander, Stahl, Podkolzin, so very solid. And then 4th line, we got Reeves, Bonino, and Sanika, who's down 82. Defensively here, I think Hughes and Doughty, as I mentioned, is a very solid top pair. Sucks there's no chem boost. Gostisbehere there on the 2nd pair with Rathbone, who's down an 83, so he actually grew a ton this first year. Myers, Schensler, our bottom pair, the +1. Goaltending there, Demko starting. Milojevic backing him up. Demko's actually dropped by 1 to an 86. In terms of the AHL team, I really like the 1st line. You got Sean Farrell there with Lekermäki and Gunler. So the couple Swedes there playing with Farrell. The rest of the team, I mean, pretty high 70s, mid 70s. They should be okay. Defensively here, Stillman, Johansson. Johansson's down 80 at 23. Medium top 4. Like, I think he's definitely going to probably take Myers' spot next year once his cap hits up. You got Wu there with Johnson on the 2nd. And then we got Kalynuk and Juleson on the bottom pair. In terms of the AHL goalies, Martin starting. Solov's there backing up. He's actually a 78 now at 22. That's not too bad. Like, he could actually end up being a low 80 and maybe a future backup for us. Of course, we have those 2 really young goalies unsigned, the medium elite, along with the high starter. And as I mentioned before, guys, definitely in the comment section, let me know who I got to give the C to. Is it Peterson? Is it Quinn? But next, I'll show you the ratings for next season. I think they were like 89, 90 to start this year. We're now 92, 93, 86. So yeah, teams definitely gone up in rating. Hopefully can get back in the playoffs and get past that 1st round. But that's going to do it, guys, for this first episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, leave that thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the sub button down below. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day. Goodbye.